Blimey.
What you got there? Is that more gear?
Oh, not more gear.
Really? More gear. Show me.
Blimey.
I want one of those.
You're having a laugh. In one gear and at the other. Cycle of gas.
Hello. All right. My name's Matt. Welcome to Cycle of Gas. In one gear, out the other. So what are we on about today? Well, we're doing the sound check and signal chain for the third installment of my experiments with the Keeley Oaxa dual stereo phaser, which is nice. Brings me on to the subject, really, not so much directly gas related. There's two things I want to talk about. I mean, mainly it's probably going to be something to do with the title of this. It's going to be about effect order. You're out of order. You're out of order. You are. I suppose as much as that on the gas front, it's like KISS, isn't it? Keep it simple, stupid. You see all of these huge bloody pedal boards with, and I've done it myself. I've built a huge 42-inch pedal board, all singing, all dancing, MIDI equipped with a switcher. There's a good usage, especially for live, for having MIDI equipped with a switcher. But it's just like having all singing, all dancing, like you see on videos, you know, like Red Hot Chili Peppers or something like that. You see their videos and they've got like the mother shit. Or you see video of Hendrix from the 60s. He's got like 3 pedals. And some people today still just come out and they just have 1, 2, 3 pedals. And then the other side of that, of course, we touched on it last week, is all the multi-effects. Now, they're great. They're great to just dial in a sound and have a bit of fun. So there's that complexity thing with having, you know, one device trying to do everything. Like separation, quality of sound, jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing. That's the way I think about it. I mean, I've had many over the years from Boss or Zooms, Line 6 and whatever. Preferred approach currently is separate pedals. I can see the reason to have like 10 pedals and a switcher with MIDI control and everything else, especially if you're in a gigging band or you're a gigging musician and you need, you know, a versatile coverall bases board. For most of my needs, even like rehearsing with people, really just one of those small one tier with about 4 pedals on and a decent power supply. Clip-on tuner. Don't need much more than that. So I'm back to Keeley. Yes, I gas on Keeley a lot. Now, whenever I plug their stuff in, particularly, I mean, what they're producing at the moment with their beautiful, simple enclosures with soft switches and just 2 or 3 buttons and the old toggle switch, they're just brilliant. The sound quality, you can put 4 pedals together, which I do quite regularly. You're in business. Now I'm not exclusively Keeley, you know, there are lots of other great sounding pedals. I've been having a lot of fun with Strymon Cloudburst, beautiful ambient reverb with that lovely symphonic thing going on. Also the EQD effects, love them. Love lots of weirdness and the OBNE stuff and the Chase Bliss. So, you know, and the Analog Man, I fully intend to keep exploring pedals and guitars, you know, are just keeping the gas under control. So what about this? You're out of order. What about it? Well, it's a good question, really. What about it? You're out of order. Now, there are people who've put stuff out on the internet, either via social media or forums or websites, saying you must have your pedals in such and such an order. Historically, some pedals that prefer to go early in the chain, germanium particularly on old fuzzes. Okay, so yeah, I get that, but I really think it's preference. I mean, I always used to like to put my wah first, for example. But it sounds totally different when you have it after dirt. So you get a completely different sort of chewy, synthy thing when you have it later. I've been playing around with pedal order. You're out of order. What surprised me the most was with the Keeley Oaxa, I put it at the end of the chain, first of all, because I just wanted it to do its stereo stuff and be the last thing in the chain, just to have that influence over the whole mix. That was the first time out, which is up there somewhere. We'll link it up there. Then I thought, oh, yeah, I'm focusing on the phaser, but I can't really hear the delay of reverb. So I put it, I wonder what it'd be like at the front of the chain, of the ambient chain. Remember, it's in the wet of a wet, dry, wet setup. So the dry is going dry. Yeah, so last week's one, also up there, we swapped the order round. So it was first in the ambient chain was the washer, then the delay, and then the reverb. And that was good fun and very different. So it was nice. But there's a vibe, quite literally, that comes from the washer that's still present, even though I'd knocked it back in the chain to the start of the ambient chain from the end of the ambient chain. And then this one that we're going to get the sound check from today, it's still at the start of the ambient chain because I quite like that. But what surprised me more was I just thought, why do I always have delay into reverb? And I know the answer to that because that's my preference. But I thought, well, why don't I just put reverb into delay? I said someone else on the Keeley soundcheck was talking about that's their preference. I think it was Roger Williams. Years ago he mentioned that. Details I remember, that stuff you're interested in, I suppose. Anyway, with that in mind, we have this current pedal lineup and I was pleasantly surprised. I like having the delay early in the chain because when you've got the ambient pedals after it, you can still have the oscillation and the ambient pedals are morphing the oscillation into different shapes and sounds. So that's always good fun to have. Whereas you don't have that. When the delays last, once you get it oscillating, that's it. Just getting the oscillation to morph within the delay itself, which is good fun. But also, what it encouraged me to do, I definitely noticed when I was mixing it back that the delays, the transients were coming through more and the delays, having it last in the chain. So that's nice. It encouraged me. Secondly. So the transients on the delays were coming through nice. Also, I thought it would swamp the nature of the reverb, but because it's not full mix, you're still getting a nice decay to the reverb. It's not spoiling the decay to the reverb. So that was a pleasant surprise for me. I mean, I know every day's a school day and I appreciate that. That's a nice thing. But, hey, another one for me, more options going forward. I mean, I like to have two delays. Maybe the next test after this is to have one at the start of the chain and one at the end of the chain. Also, what happened was that it encouraged me to just to really push things a bit hard. And I did something I never do. Well, not until this jam, which you'll have to go to PedalScapes to see it. And it will be linked up there, of course. But what I did that I never do is I live around between 7 and 9 on the volume control. 7 to 9, okay? And because I knew I was building up to an oscillation, I whacked the guitar up to 10. I never do that, but I did today. Or I did, in this pedalscape that this is the sound check for on this episode of Cycle of Gas. Blah, 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 too much coffee. Not enough coffee in the world. No, but seriously, keep hold of the thread, Matt. So it encouraged me to whack the guitar up. And then I whacked the Manis right up. And I've never done that before. Turn the level up to 10 and the gain and the treble. And it was just like this glorious noise. And what the nice thing about that is that I sometimes get a little bit of clipping where I'm pushing the signal too loud. But what was the nice thing about that was even though I'd whacked it up, when I was setting the levels at the start, I pulled 2 dB off the stereo mix because it kind of felt a bit peaky, a bit clippy. The DBX stereo compressor that I'm using before it hits record, before it hits the sound card, clearly just handled all of that extra where I pushed the levels right up as high as they'd go. No clipping at all. I was pleasantly surprised. So obviously DBX doing its job, the outboard compressor doing its job. So that was a pleasant surprise. well, there's a bit of inspiration. So I guess, not so out of order. You're not out of order. You can go in any order you want. So that's it, really. I mean, that was my lesson to take away from this, was that sometimes just change it up a bit. I've got my one chord that I play. I have to try and make it sound a bit interesting where and when I can. Yeah, better get on to, let's go over to the PedalScapes studio and hear from Matthew Elvis Brown over there as he walks you through the sound check and signal chain for this week's PedalScapes. So this is our Cycle of Gears sound check and signal chain. The coffee's wearing off. Must go and get some coffee. Over to you, Matthew Elvis Brown, in the PedalScapes studio. My name's Matt. Welcome to PedalScapes. And for this first part, Cycle of Gas. Sister channel, Cycle of Gas. We take the sound check and signal chain run through and add some talk into it. This one we do the sound check, signal chain run through, and add some jamming to it. Please do come along for the journey. Okay, so it's week 3 of the Keeley Oaxa. Decided I wanted to change the order. The phaser was at the end of the stereo ambient chain. The last week I put it at the beginning, and then I had the halo and the zoma. Today we're doing the Oaxa with single coils, and we've changed the order again, simply switching delay and reverb. So reverb is into delay. What are we doing? Right, first of all, clean tone. So we got the gain is 11 o'clock, treble's 11 o'clock, middle is 2 o'clock, bass is 2 o'clock, volume's 2 o'clock, presence or tone is 10 o'clock, and reverb is about 7 o'clock, just off the dial, just off of 0 for the reverb, the amps built in reverb. So that's what comprises our clean tone. I'm roughly about 7 on the volume and about 7 on the tone. So here's the neck pickup. Oh, hey. So I'm going to whack the volume up because the signal's low. Maybe put the tone up to about 9 and turn the volume up, or just a squidge, or just below the sweet spot on the volume. Neck, bridge. That bridge is in your face, man. Middle. So like last week, I'm going to start off flat on the EQ, so stock EQ, and we're gonna go, unlike last week, we're going to start with the germanium transistor rather than the diode on the Keeley Manis, this is, and then the drive just up, just after 10 o'clock, level up a little bit, just want to give some nice cleanish boosts. Lift it. Yeah. Lift. Now I'm going to start, because I didn't do the vibrato, I'm going to start on the vibrato this week on the Oaxa. So I'm going to, getting carried away. What am I like? Right, so we got the Tele into the Manis. Manis goes into the Laney Cub 12R. Through all of that lovely tubey, valvey goodness, speaker out, capturate the mic out of the capturate, or the what's our dry signal, into compressor, into record. The line out, what is our ambient signal, mono into washer, stereo out from washer into Zoma, stereo out from Zoma into halo, stereo out from halo into, you can't see it here, but the lovely simplified DLX. From the DLX, we go into a stereo compressor, outboard, into record. Okay, so let's add some ambience. So vibrato on the red side. I love that. Yeah, that might have been up a little bit. Nice. Okay, vibrato on the blue side. They're set up very similar, but I want that low, chewy purple or red and blue together. Oh, am I getting a bit of peak in there? Yeah. Oh, wow. Maybe. We'll just take the input gain down by 2 dB. So the master volume on the amp is up to about 3 o'clock now. Okay, going to turn washer off. And let's go spring and sine on the Zoma today. So spring, something like this. Oh, give it a bit more level. Very metallic, lovely. Now, sine wave tremolo. Oh man. Okay, and now, of course, the delightful, delicious halo in halo mode at the end of the chain. A bit of level. I've got to go. Right. So, Cycle of Gases, I'm going to hand you back over to Matthew Elvis Brown in the Cycle of Gas studios. PedalScapers, YouTube cliches, blah, blah, blah. Let's scape on. God, blimey, that was a long one, wasn't it? Well, here we are. Back again in the Cycle of Gas studio. So I think I rambled on enough before we did the sound check. So I'm not going to ramble on anymore, other than to say a couple of nice surprises for me in the PedalScape this week. Mainly changing the order. The washer, I was trying it with the Tele with a single coils, got into the play-in and never got round to testing the second mode. So that's going to be the next outing with the washer. Hopefully we'll go the second mode with the, is it 6-stage and 2-stage? And we'll give those a try, maybe with the AS72. And yeah, from there, all that's left to say is thank you for watching. My name's Matt. This has been Cycle of Gas in association with PedalScapes. Woo! So if you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below. Join us on patreon.com/PedalScapes. Come back and watch another video. Do you got this kit? How do you get on with it? You got any opinions on signal chain? And more importantly, pedal order? I mean, come back, leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. This will probably go in a freaking bloopers pile. Thanks for watching. Come back and watch another one. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Blimey.
What you got there? Is that more gear?
Oh, not more gear.
Really? More gear. Show me.
Blimey.
I want one of those.
We're having a laugh. In one gear and at the other. Cycle of gas.
Where did you And, what are you looking at? Right, so,
Cycle of gas.
There was much simplicity. I'm a simple man with simple needs.
Cycle of gas.
I mean, there are people on the web. My spidey sense is tingling.
Cycle of gas.
Morph in the ovulation. Awful. You are awful.
Cycle of gas.